Hi, guys, it's Maya, and welcome back to episode 4 of It's Just Fucking Therapy. I just graduated today, so that is why I'm in the dress. Um, don't really have any other updates aside from that. It's been a very busy day, but we can jump right into it today. So, today, or this specific episode, it's a very special episode to me because we have a very special guest on. It is the Mother's Day episode. So, today, I have my mother here accompanying me on the podcast. So, Mom, would you like to introduce yourself to the people and tell them about you or who you are to me or something?
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Amaya's mother. Thank you for an introduction. Thank you for having me, and congratulations to you. Awesome.
Thank
Yeah,
you. I
thank you.
appreciate for you being here. So, tell the people about you, where you live, what you do, stuff like that.
I'm from Chicago.
Of
Uh,
course.
Chicago in the house, Chi-town.
Almost every guest.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying the weather here. The weather is beautiful, totally different from at home right about now. Flew in just for a day to support my daughter. Congratulations to you.
Thank
Much success. I'm
you.
very, very proud of you. I am a behavioral clinical therapist myself, a case manager as well. Specialize in suicidal ideation, substance abuse,
Severe mental health.
severe mental health, different genres, homelessness, you name it.
Yeah, so if y'all
I
need
cover it
her,
all.
if y'all need her in Chicago, y'all, we got 2 therapists on the platform. Y'all know it's about to get crazy. But yes, if y'all do need additional resources back home, like I say, always reach out to me. For those in the Arizona area, I can link my mother's information, not personal, business information below. When the episode drops, if anyone does need to reach out to her or for some resources back at home in the Chicagoland area, I know that a lot of people ask me for services, but I cannot provide them with being out here. So we do have someone on that is able to help in that area. So, with that being said, let's jump right into it because the people want to know some things. Y'all be on this internet acting a fool. I'm going to tell y'all right now, don't come on this platform acting crazy because I go to bat behind my mom in them comments. So we're going to keep it cute. But this is going to be a good segment. So, Mom, the people want to know. What is it like, and what have the struggles, the highs and the lows, been like? Just raising a daughter, a young woman.
Oh, well, I've always said to you since you were little, or and to most moms out there, there's no rule book. There's no rule book on how to raise a child. That would be amazing. It would be amazing if I had a rule book. So there are highs and lows, and as you go through things, you grow through things. And I had you at a young age. I was 21. And so the things that I didn't know, as I grew through them, I learned through them. And I don't want to say through trial and error. So I wanted to break that generational curse. I wanted to be open minded. I wanted to give you that forum to think for yourself, and yet raise you in the direction that I felt that was fitting for you, which
Okay.
I wanted to leave that space open for you. And in that aspect, it all fell on you. So
Right.
as you were growing and I watched you grow, I wanted to guide you in the direction that you wanted to go in, not the direction that I wanted you to go
And
in.
that's big. I'm so glad that you
Absolutely.
touched on that because a lot of parents, they like to, dictate their children's lives and just have it set out and planned for them. And, I was talking to you about this in a car the other day. I was like, what is your hot take on strict parents? I feel like strict parents kind of raise sneaky kids essentially. Like, I feel like you gave me a good balance to where it was like, be in by this time, but you can still go out and do this, but check in with me, like stuff like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that is very important, balance and boundaries. And I've always allowed you to kind of make your mistakes and not fault you for making those mistakes. And a lot of parents have a structured, okay, this is how I was raised, so I'm going to raise you this way. And it doesn't necessarily work that way. And I think that's where the clash comes in, especially with a mother-daughter relationship. And not necessarily being your friend. Being your mom is the most important thing to me. So
Oh,
I think that's
yeah.
very important.
I'm
and that
so
was
glad
always
you
important
said
to
that.
me.
Yes,
Absolutely.
because I've had friends that I grew up with, and their parents or parental figures was more so like a friend or a big sister to them. I also personally feel like that just came from them being deprived from their childhood, so they're trying to play catch up. From their teenage years or past experiences that they missed out on, but it doesn't make good fit for the child. And then I've noticed that a lot of friends have clinged to you just from your ways of maneuvering through life with me, with how you did raise me, like and how you treated me well and talked to me not like you were like that stern parent, but it was still like, I'm mom no matter what, but like I'm gonna give you that freedom to come to me if you want to come to me.
Oh, absolutely. I am that mom, and I think that is important when you set that safety zone for your child, that comfort zone. Also, being able to allow your child to make mistakes and not browbeat them for making that mistake or those mistakes that they make through life, encouraging them and guiding them, And so to me, that was very important, was to allow you to make your own choices and to guide you through making those choices. Because at the end of the day, what I feel that is important to me or best for me is not what's best for you. And as much as I wanted certain things for you, that was not the direction you wanted to go. And so at the end of the day, it's about being supportive. It's about, providing structure. It's about providing rules, and at the same time being balanced and allowing you to make those healthy choices that are age appropriate. And I think that's very important along the way. As a mother, it is, or a parent, it is good to encourage your child, just as if you're in grade school. Okay, this is first grade, this is second grade, this is third grade. This is how we kind of
leveling
your life
up each time.
Absolutely. Yep. And this is what is age appropriate for you. What does that look like? Let's talk about these things. Let's come to, and a lot of parents don't believe in compromising. And I think that makes it so much easier. And it's, hey, you can't do this, and there are certain things that you didn't understand, and we had to work those things through.
Because at 15, I just didn't. At 16, I just didn't understand why he was blowing my phone up when I was at certain places. I did say that I was somewhere that I wasn't supposed to be. But looking back now, approaching 24, I definitely get it. Like at 15 and 16, I personally feel like for 15 and 16-year-olds, you're gonna do what you want to do either way. So it's only so much that you can do, and I do feel like you did a great job with raising me, and you're an amazing mother, and you gave me everything that I needed. I still wanted to do what I wanted to do either way, but it wasn't to an extent where it was detrimental or harmful. It was like, let me just push and see how far I can go. But if you didn't give me that space to where I could even do what I needed to begin with, I could have gone so far left, and I didn't experience that. So I'm grateful that I knew my boundaries for myself, your boundaries, and still held that certain level of respect. But we test the waters at that age, regardless.
Absolutely. It's like swimming in the water. It's starting off, hey, we're going to start off in the kiddie pool first. I'm going to watch you, and I'm going to continue to see how far you're going to go before I actually teach you how to swim. So allowing you to go to a certain extent without drowning, And then if you get to that point, it's like, okay, hold on, let's bring you back here.
Yeah.
So I think that is important when a mother allows their child or children or daughter or son to make those mistakes. You're available to also be there to help you correct those mistakes, because it's like, hey, I gave you this choice and I gave you this certain amount of freedom. You chose this. And this is the choice that you chose. These are the choices that I gave you. You chose to go in this direction. So, hey, this is not working. Let's bring it back here.
Yeah.
So I think that's important too, giving those choices, which allows you to continue to grow and to develop when you have choices and options. And the way I was brought up, I didn't have a choice. It's like, hey, this is what it is. This is what you're going to do. And at the end of the day, like you said, you're going to do what you're going to do at the end of the day and rebel. So for me, I needed to know, and I think that having that open line of communication is very, very important. And doing so is by giving choices, not saying, hey, we cool, because I'll tell you in a minute, I ain't your best friend.
Yeah, you
I'm not
you
your
let
best
you let me.
friend.
She let me know
I'm
all
not
the
a best
time. We is
friend.
not friends. She gonna make that very
Right.
clear. Like, to me, to anybody that I'm hanging out with that I got over, like, she'll come down, celebrate, say hey, speak to me and my people, but she right back upstairs, not in the mix, trying to. And I like that. Like, I had a good representation of a strong mother figure, which is my mom. So I'm very appreciative of that. And I wanted to ask you too, so I know that you touched on your upbringing. So can you talk about a little bit, like how you said you didn't want to raise me how you were raised? Because I do have a lot of people in my social media comments that would like to know, like, what is your take as well on black women or black mothers despising their daughters, and then it carrying it on over, and then you being the one to stop it, or whoever being the one to stop it.
Well, understanding that in life we're growing, and there's changes, new technology, there's new education, new things to learn. We're growing, and so if you're stuck and you're a prisoner of that thinking, it just doesn't work as you're growing, as the years change. And so to me, that is very important. And so I think that it is good. It's like making a recipe, It's kind of, hey, my mother taught me how to make this chili this way, and this is the best way to make the chili. But then as you get older, you're like, hey, I want to tweak it a little bit. I want to make it a little more tasteful to how I like it. I think that is good. So it wasn't necessarily that I didn't take any of those things. I took some of those things, and I also took a lot of the things that, as we're growing and as the era is changing and as the new modern day, and just watching you as you were growing. And you have to know your child,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
think that is very important at the same time. So it's just a combination of both. So it's not like I totally
Just
disregard
disregard
it or
it.
disregard it.
Okay.
I kept that in the back of my mind, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, this is, and then if you know it's not working, it's not working. It gotta
Don't
make
keep
sense.
pulling and
Don't keep
try to
pulling
make
and
it work.
tugging.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if that ponytail holder is not fitting it, it's just
Like,
you just can't force
break
it.
the band
You
and get
gotta
a new one.
Absolutely.
Okay, I like that.
Absolutely.
So adapting your own new skills.
Absolutely.
And I feel like
Absolutely.
that is really good, especially with breaking generational trauma
Absolutely.
and trying to have a healthy relationship
Absolutely.
with mothers and daughters. Because I've noticed just in my personal life with friends and what I see on social media, and just the general stereotype is that a lot of mother-daughter relationships are very rocky, because a lot of girls feel like that their mothers favor their sons more. They feel like they take on more of the responsibility as the oldest child. I've never experienced or felt any of those specific feelings, but I do understand why one could feel like that, or the pressure, because as the oldest child, firstborn daughter, like, it's a lot. It's a lot to take on. It's a lot of help, and a lot of things that you have to contribute and do in the household. It's essentially taking on the third parent role. But you gave me space and time, and I still had my freedom and got to do what I want. But a lot of moms don't. They don't give their kids that. You're the third parent or the second parent.
Absolutely. But you did challenge me at times.
I did,
that goes with the growing pains, at the end of the day. That goes with the growing pains. And once again, like I said, there's never a rule book on how to raise your child. If you know your child and you know what works for them, then you do what's best for them, and you incorporate that, and you try different things until you figure out what works. And I think communication is a big part. I've always said, hey, if you are not comfortable talking to me, what did I used to tell you?
You used to tell me, my mama used to tell me, if I'm not comfortable talking to her, I am not like old, and I'm not young, but like, I had a phone, but it wasn't like a big thing at a point in time. So my mom used to always tell me, if I don't feel comfortable sharing something with her, or like verbally talking it out, write it on a piece of paper, leave it under my door or her door. She won't mention it or say anything about it in that given moment, and then when we're ready to connect and speak about it, then we'll do it. So that was very helpful growing up.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. No matter what came out of that, no matter what the outcome was of you expressing that, because I allowed you to express that, hey, what am I going to do about this? How am I going to approach this? You know, and so I think that is very important. A lot of people are not able to open up. A lot of people are not able to talk. And I'm one of them. I was not able to open up. I held that in. And, you know, that's not a good feeling. And that is part of being traumatized. You know, it's like, hey, I don't want to open up because I'm scared I'm going to get in trouble. I'm scared I'm going to get a whipping for it, you know, and that is, you just don't know what's going to work for your child if you don't keep those lines of communication open. And I think that is very important. Hey, what am I going to do with this information when I get it? How am I going to react when I get the information? And so for a big thing for me was, how can I help you? So in the back of my head, I needed to know so that I can guide you, so that I can help you, instead of inflicting traumatization on you and saying, hey, you know what? Oh my God, you just told me this. You know what I mean?
Because some moms do that. They make it worse. The moment, like they create that safe space, or I'm going to say safe space, and they tell you to open up, and then you do it, and then they turn around and they flip it and throw it on you. It's like, dang, I'm not about to tell you nothing ever again. I'm going to go to my friends. That's why people go to their friends, their boyfriends, outside people. And then, you know, God forbid things happen to their daughters or sons or children, and then they like, I never saw this coming. It's like, you didn't give them the space to, you provided the space. Actually, it's just how you went about the information.
So once again, that's part of breaking a generational curse. And as a parent, changing your mindset. You know, if you want your child to be a certain way, that's a part of guiding your child to go the way you want them to go at the same time.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I do, keep in mind, y'all, I do want y'all to know, like, me and my mom, our relationship was very rocky in my teenage years. Like, it just only got better in my 20s. I'm still 20, almost 24. Right. But I don't want to say recently, because it's been some years now since I'm approaching 24. But when I was about probably like 18 or 19, maybe even 16, 17, we could take it as low as 15.
Absolutely. Let's start with 15.
We can start it. Okay, we're going to do 15 to like 20. That's a solid age bracket.
Right. That's a lot of years. That's a lot of years.
Our relationship, it was very toxic, not good, not the greatest. Just a lack of communication and understanding. That's really what it was. Me not understanding my mom not understanding me, us bumping heads, and eventually it got to a point, it's like, we gonna fix it and work through it, or we just not gonna communicate and be in each other's lives at all. I feel like that's really like a ultimatum, and what it comes down to with a lot of mother and daughters, it's like, we get somewhere with it or we don't get nowhere at all.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't, you know, always peaches and cream. It took time. Like, things take time.
Well, let's agree to disagree there. So it was never a lack of communication. It might have been a lack of understanding. But the one thing I didn't do, I didn't give up. As stressful as it was, I didn't give up. I did a lot of praying. And like I said, there's no rule book. And knowing, and you helped me understand this, setting those boundaries, because we're totally opposite. Yeah. You know, I'm going to get it out of you one way or the other.
That's what I'm saying. I meant my communication, because I go into my shell. I'm my Cancer shell. I shut that door. I'm going to talk. I'm cutting out.
Absolutely.
Just being in my,
Right.
It ain't, I'm not saying do that. Don't do that. But my communication, and then understanding on both parts. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the key thing is the common denominator is that as a parent or a mother, you just don't give up, you know, as tired as we get, because you young ladies, y'all could bring the gangster out of us. You know, but the key thing is to learn how to figure out alternative ways to fix that and make it work, you know, because it's not a comfortable situation. It's never comfortable when you're in the same household and you have a young adult that is growing into her own success or finding her way and figuring her way out and learning all these things. And then you have the pressure of this, and that, and you have all these other things going on, allowing you to be able to do that. But at the same time, understanding boundaries. I had to give you your space. Hey, I'm gonna let you put you in timeout for a minute. You know, I'm big on that timeout. But yet we still have to talk about it at the end of the day, because this is who I am. And so you had to also understand, hey, I just can't let this slide. I just can't ignore it, and I think that's the problem when the parents or a mother allow things to kind of turn over as a whirlwind and ignore the situation and just sit on it. Yeah. And I think that's important, to not sit on it, but give it some time out, and then let's come back. Let's address the situation.
Because the child would for sure. Like, we will for sure.
Absolutely.
Like you say all the time, as therapists, psychologists over here, your brain is not fully developed till you're 25. So we're not thinking on a cognitive level like that. So if we, we want to sit and sulk, we're going to do that. We like, well, I ain't got to talk to her. I'm not the adult, like stuff like that. But yeah, my mom has done a good job of making sure, like, get me out of that shell. Like, nah, you're going to talk. And that's why I sit right up here and we talk. And we talk about different mental health topics, but I'm so glad to have seen the shift in dynamic with us. It'd be a little up and down sometimes, but it's more up than it is down, and it was definitely breaking those curses, that trauma, restoring, rebuilding. We had to do a lot of that. But now my next question, because the people want to know. I told her I said the people want to know. This I feel like this is some Black deeply rooted trauma that she ain't gonna let go of, and nobody else is gonna let go of. They mom, the people want to know why, when like we was in high school or we was younger and stuff, y'all used to be like, we gonna take you there or we gonna pick you up, but you ain't getting both ways to the function. Like, that's traumatized. That's traumatic. Why did y'all think that was okay? Because she still had the Black mama way. She still did. We want to know why.
Well,
why?
Hey, could have been, I ain't have enough gas to get you there and back. But let me get you there, and you got to find your way back. No, it's parent involvement, making sure that the people that you're involved with, I always say I want you to be around. I've always said, hang around like-minded people, be around people that are on the same page as you. And obviously when you're in high school, you guys are always on, hey, let's go out and let's do this and that. You're on the same page as your friends. So guess what? If I could get you there, then one of those parents that's on the same page as your friend, hey, somebody could get you back, right? Okay.
See, I never knew that. We used to me and my friends just used to sit there mad, like, I can't believe she talking about I got a fat. Don't nobody else of the other skin colors be doing that. They get them there and back. But I'm like, Now my next one, because people want to know this too.
Sure.
Why would you tell me to take the chicken out the freezer like you was about to pull up and be home, and then when you would get home, you would never cook the chicken? That would come right out the fridge. Like, just traumatizing me, making me run up out the couch when I heard that garage door open. Like, oh my God.
Like, pull a belt out, right? Let me get this belt out, because I know that chicken.
Everybody did that. I can vouch for everybody on my timeline and in my life. Okay. I'm going to be honest. We ain't pull that chicken out the freezer when you used to say, pull it. It was coming out when you pulled up under hot water. That's when we was pulling it out.
We want to give you that head start. So not only can a child be traumatized, but the parent can be traumatized too. So, hey, hold on now. We working all day long. Hey, we say, hey, you sitting there watching TV, cackling on the phone with your friends, at your friends over. Hey, that chicken better be out. If I have to cook it, and all you have to do is go in the freezer. I bought the chicken. Hey, I put the chicken in the freezer, and I tell you to take the chicken out. Oh, you better tear that chicken out.
That is some generational trauma. That's the trauma y'all should have been breaking.
Naturally, it's not going to get cooked until it's unthawed, because, hey, you're not pulling out the chicken till I pull up in the driveway. So you know what? You're going to be eating frozen chicken sandwiches.
That's
at the end of the day.
Cool. You know what? I got my little Black trauma questions out. I ain't even... It's okay. I got my answers. I understand now.
Right.
But
you understand.
I understand.
You don't understand until you're on your own. And
yes.
now you're on your own.
Oh, I don't play. That stuff be out when I go to work. I don't.
Before you go to work,
I go
it's
to
like,
work.
you know what? Hey, let me make my lunch. Let me take my dinner out.
Yes, I'm
and
more.
Let me have
yes.
it ready. So guess what? Your meat is unthawed. By the time you get home, you may want to take a nap. You might want to shower. You might want to work out. So that's why the food wasn't always ready on time. Because you didn't have it out on time. And it was still frozen. And her sister was tired.
Okay, we get it. We get it. Okay. No, I saw this TikTok though, and it was this girl, and it was like a trending audio sound, and she was dancing in her room, and the caption was like, me chilling in my nasty apartment that my mama said I was gonna have when I got older, but it was so clean. And it was like, right, like we ain't gonna get into. I talked about that.
We need to get into that.
Like
okay,
how we treated y'all house, living with y'all. We don't treat us. My car, I ain't got no dents. My apartment clean. I treat my.
I agree.
My name on the bills. I'm treating it
your
good.
stuff is spick and span.
Thank
by the
you.
way.
Thank
and you know what? Speaking of TikTok, you see those TikToks where the parents come in and you have your own place and you just start throwing stuff and squeeze out the extra toothpaste and have water running. I gotta remind me. You know what? You're not gonna remind me. I have to remember to note that, to make sure I do that before I take a flight home. I'm gonna turn on all the lights. I'm gonna run the water.
Oh, we're gonna get you to the airport early. We're gonna get you to the airport tonight. Don't do that.
I got you, and I'm gonna roll up all the tissue.
That's okay. You're gonna be
and put it
you gonna be zelling in cash, but that's okay. But,
so you think?
But yeah, I really appreciate you being here, Mom, and answering these questions and talking about generational trauma, mending relationships with your daughter, what it looks like from an unhealthy standpoint, a healthy standpoint, boundaries. I really appreciate that, and I know that is something that a lot of young girls, young or even older, need to hear. With situations with their parental figures or mother figure in their life. So
and I think that's important too, because someday you may decide to have a child of your own, and the way I raised
I'm
you.
young at turn.
Oh, well, hey,
kids.
let's keep it like that.
Because
I'm still a young mother myself, and I ain't ready.
Kids.
So I understand. Hey, I ain't doing no babysitting.
No, you say that all the time. I ain't gonna be no young grandma. That's all she say. Yeah.
But I think that's important too, to carry some of those positive things with you. Which is another part of breaking the generational curses, making sure you don't carry that on to the next generation and the next generation. And my success story is not going to be your success story. And the way I brought you up may not necessarily be the way you may, if you eventually or you decide to have a child, may not be the way you bring your child up. But I hope that you've learned something and carry something, and it seems like you have. I know you have. Not seems. Let me correct that. I know she has. So, and I'm very proud of you. And so those are some of the things that I want to carry on. Some people leave houses behind, or their children, or cars behind. I want to leave some of that knowledge behind.
And you did. I have so many people that reach out to me and just telling me that they're grateful that I utilize my platform as a therapist in a positive way. And like I say all the time, this was never for a monetary value or to gain a clout or attention. It was just simply to raise awareness. So you did a good job at instilling those ground, ethical, moral values in me. So thank you.
I'm so very proud of you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I love you.
And
Thanks
I love
for
you
being
too.
on.
Thank you. Yes, continue to be open-minded, and continue to set that tone and continue to carry that on.
Awesome.
Yep, I'm very proud of you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, guys, I'll be linking mental health resources down below in Chicago and Arizona. And once again, if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to my social media or my mother's, and we can provide you guys with those resources. Thank you.
Bye.